It's time to talk about one of the most dominant seasons we've ever seen. Your running back's favorite running back, LaDainian Tomlinson, set the single-season scoring record in 2006, tearing the league ablaze with an unguardable skill set. The definition of a complete player, there was no way to stop this man from affecting the game. Totaling a ridiculous 31 touchdowns and 2,300 yards, LT led the Superchargers to a 14-2 record, rushing, receiving, and even passing his way past defenses. Let's revisit the greatest scoring season by a player ever and crack open the vaults on some never-before-seen All-22. Thanks to the NFL for lending us the film. It's an overused term, but LT really was unstoppable. Elite in all areas, he could beat you in so many ways, stringing together fantastic vision and bursts of acceleration, with fancy footwork and signature stiff arms, dazzling both the viewer and his opponent. A threat to score on any play, LT had the vision to find the correct lane and the burst to punish defenses, juking out those who try to stand in his path. The Bolts are running power left here, and it's blocked to absolute perfection. You'll see a lot of two-back and heavy formations, with this being before the spread era, and they'll create an edge to run at by motioning a young Vincent Jackson to wing, helping them collapse the line down. Lorenzo Neal has the kick-out block, picking up the overflow linebacker and sealing outside, and it's all 21 from there. His burst has him hitting the hole before the wheel gets over, and he's breaking free into the secondary, setting up the safety with a great stutter to break his angles, then turning on the burners, shrugging off a last-ditch attempt for 6. And more two-back glory as LT follows Neal to the gap. The safety's not ready for the burst, as LT accelerates to light speed when he sees the hole, getting taken by the turf monster of Qualcomm. He's in past the defense and running away from them all. However, the other safety has the angle to cut him off, but watch the fantastic feel to set up his block. He slows down just enough to allow V-Jack to catch up and shield, but not the defenders behind him, giving a head nod to hold the safety inside for the block before maintaining his sprint path down the sideline. Truly elite running. And against the Browns, he slices right through the heart of the defense. Again, running left, the Chargers are running a scissors blocking concept, which is basically counter with zone blocking principles. The Sam jumps wide to protect against the left tackle, but the Mike is a step behind reading the counter step, and LT is just too quick. At this pace, he'll shrug off anyone, and once he's past you, it's over. At the pro level, gaps like this last play are rare, and part of what made LT one of the greatest to ever do it was his elite vision. With eyes hidden behind the iconic visor, LT scanned the entire field, able to feel his way through the first level, knowing how gaps would develop, while maintaining vision on the second level, ready to leave them boys guessing. This is a beautiful cut on the duo concept, finding the backside lane against the defense. The line all stunts right, with the backers overflowing, trying to jump the gaps and get to LT quickly. But beautiful vision finds a backside crease. The center gets freed by the stunt and quickly climbs to the linebacker, and LT uses those sharp feet and great eyes to spot a gap's gonna open up. He explodes off the cut to find it, bouncing this cross formation for 15. Running the stretch play behind that favored left side, LT's eyes are up the whole time, making an immediate decision as he gets the ball. Feeling the defense overflow with the play and forgetting to maintain, he immediately cuts backside, torching the edge for a burst of 45. His vision down near the goal line was what let him score so many TDs, able to spot gaps even against 10 and 11-man boxes. Against the Bengals, he reads the toss left play beautifully, pushing hard with the toss to get the outside angle, but always with eyes up on the second level. Seeing the Mike overcommit, he knows a cutback lane will open up, stopping on a dime and accelerating back inside. A great climb block from the right guard seals the wheel into the safety, and LT is untouched. And here, the Ravens cross-blitz the B-gap, aiming to create chaos and a free man into the backfield, but ridiculous vision and next-level juking find the yards. Ray Lewis crosses the guard's face, allowing Adalys Thomas straight into the backfield, but LT knows how to find his way out of trouble. He knows he's got help from his fullback Lorenzo Neal, juking back outside to set up the block, bursting through a gap as it appears. That's a tackle for loss turned into a 9-yard gain. We've seen glimpses, but Let's focus in on this fancy footwork, as it was truly lethal. He had the ability to weave his way in and out of blocks to find the optimal path, and possessed a deadly jump cut, regularly leaving defenders diving for air. Running the same scissors concept we looked at earlier, watch the cutting and weaving to work his way in for 6. LT reads the end bounce wide, cutting off the outside, so takes the inside angle, bouncing back wide when he reaches the second level, using his wide receiver to send chasing defenders colliding, jogging it in for the score. Catching the Bills with the draw play, LT shakes out multiple defenders. He spots the backer and corner walling off any ability to cut outside, so he bounces it inside, leaving 2 defenders on their knees. Now one-on-one with the safety, LT claims another victim, sending yet another defender clasping at air, and is only stopped by an ankle tackle from a hustling backer. And against the Broncos, more great vision and moves leaves 3 more defenders in the dust. Denver defends the zone play well, and LT is forced to work all the way back to the cutback lane, where a charging backer is waiting. However, he can't contain the jump cut, and neither can the safety, getting caught with a hezzy. The corner pushes wide to steer infield, but LT won't let him get a shot either, claiming a 3rd victim on the play. When he couldn't shake his man, he had a special move he could go to, the stiff arm. It's a hotly contested title, but LT might just have the nastiest stiff arm ever. In perhaps the most iconic play of his career, he sends a helmet-obliterating hit to the Rams. The Chargers are running 42 power, with Antonio Gates sealing down and Neal taking out the nickel, leaving LT one-on-one with the safety. OJ Otogwe ends up on the wrong side of history as LT delivers an all-time stiff arm, shrugging off the tackle and jogging in for the score. This was a go-to move anytime a defender had the angle on him, and he would lift you up and slam you into the dirt. And it wasn't just DBs either, even Hall of Famers would catch these hands. The great Ray Lewis is a step late getting across to the outside alley, and he's forced to make the tackle off balance, which LT just won't let you do, delivering the stiff arm to his Canton acquaintance, bursting up the sideline for a big game. A goal line demon, power and stiff arms become even more important as the field condenses. Great vision and burst to follow the counter concept, and when defenders have clear paths on him, he just throws them aside. This power translated to his contact balance, and he was capable of shrugging off and ripping his way out of wrap tackles. Good vision finds a hole, but there's a defender waiting, so LT makes himself small and tries to power through the chaos. 5 different defenders get a piece of him, but he's shrugging, spinning, and stiff-arming them to get loose. And even the final defender can't get him down, having to jump on his back and drag him out of bounds. And here's more superb strength to get over the goal line. The Bengals safety reacts quickly to the bounce cut, but can only get a hold of his face mask, trying to tear him down, but LT delivers a sucker punch of his own, fighting through the foul for the score. One of the great goal line backs in NFL history, LT had every counter move to force a defense to be wrong. We've shown the strength to go through people, but he could go over you and around you. The shortest route to the end zone will always be a straight line, and LT was a fan of the aerial route. The leap has become a dying art, but it's impossible to stop when performed correctly. And big on big from the one, the Raiders play it well to clog the middle and cut off the edges, leaving only one route available. LT leaps from the 3, and even though he's met by a mass of bodies, he's still able to punch the ball in. When defenses sold too hard inside, his vision would come back into play, and he knew when someone wasn't protecting the edge or cutback lane, regularly cutting hard off the handoff and just going straight for the corner, knowing his burst would break the angle. A do-it-all back, LT was just as frequent a part of the game plan when it came to the aerial attack. The second best threat on a good passing team, LT reeled in 56 catches for another 500 yards, operating as a screen threat and check down demon in the Bolts offense. Watch the quick feet to navigate the field off the slip screen, bouncing it infield when he reaches the numbers to avoid Palomalu, then bouncing it again to get out of 3 converging defenders. He then shakes off one more before leaping to avoid getting chopped down. And here is effortless weaving and juking off another slip screen design. Great feel to push the outside angle, then cut off the back of his line to set up the block. Then, one-on-one with the defender, shakes his boots, stepping on the gas to find the grass. He's got the step to set up the safety, but his wide receiver can't hold the block, getting tackled inside the 10. The mid-2000s Broncos loved the cover 0 blitz, and here LT plays a key role to beat their variant. 86 motions from split backs all the way to the boundary, and Rivers can see the man coverage and knows the end is also going to peel off to take LT. But instead of running him to the flat for a quick option with the pressure, they find a way to break the coverage by running him up the seam. Rivers shot puts a bullet, and with no safety help, this goes all the way to the crib. Mostly used on screens and checkdowns, he was still a deep threat when the design allowed for it. Lined up in the heavy formation, it looks like they're going to try power forward for some yards for the field goal. But LT is shifted to fullback and will run a wheel route off the play action. He gets matched up on the mic, which is going to be a problem in space. And Antonio Gates' seam route creates enough of a rub for LT to get in behind. It's a great catch over the shoulder, as a fan blocks our view of his touchdown celly. When we talk about completeness at the running back position, we mean a player who can do everything, and that includes pass protection. Here, LT remained elite, helping create time for Phillip Rivers against a flurry of heavy pressures. One of the best to ever do it in Troy Polamalu comes untouched on the late creep-up blitz, but LT's there to save the play. He's reacting fast, eating up the space, and not letting the rusher come to him, landing both hands on the chest plate and sending him wide. The block buys enough time for Rivers to step up, delivering a laser to Antonio Gates. On this one, the Bengals show an all-out blitz and do indeed bring it, sending 8 to get the ball. And again, LT is instrumental in the play, stepping up and into the B-gap to take on the blitzing backer, stonewalling him and giving Phil enough time to find Vincent Jackson on the shallow cross. A do-everything player, LT was also a very good passer on the gadget play, finishing his career with 7 touchdowns on 8 completions. This is a nice play design that forces the Chiefs to sell out, creating an easy opportunity for the pass. They hand the ball off to LT on what looks to be a power right, but the tight end will slip his down block and hook back to the corner for the pop pass. The pulling guard and fullback create a nice pocket, and it's a wide open throw for 6. And against the Raiders in the high red area, the Chargers again draw up what looks like a run, with the line faking one way and LT getting the crack pitch the other. And the whole secondary crashed down, not letting LT get to the edge. But it's all a fake, as Gates slips in behind and LT drops a dime in stride for 6 more. A season for the ages. LaDainian Tomlinson's 2006 campaign is one of the greatest we've ever seen. Totaling 31 touchdowns, he managed more than 14 teams that season and scored more points on his own than the entire Raiders franchise. Damn! These scoring records still stand nearly 20 years later, and with a modern game geared towards pass-friendly offenses, we won't see these threatened anytime soon.